guys, I hope you're having a great Friday. I just wanted to tell you all a little bit about my research and observations in the 1938 rendition of Marie-Antoinette. Ball gowns like marvelous clouds coated in feathers and diamonds, graceful movements that make even laughing look like dancing, romance, forced, star-crossed, and mischievous, and a soundtrack that sounds as if it's trying its best to keep up with the drama and excitement of the scene. From the moment the trailer of the 1938 rendition of Marie-Antoinette begins, the screen is crowded with extravagance that makes you feel as if you've stepped into a ballroom of a French palace amidst its most controversial time to exist. When choosing the film I would critically examine, I was drawn to Marie-Antoinette because the trailer made me feel as if I was peering into the cracked door of the life of those whom it was the best of times for the first time with my own eyes. I had to step in. Many of the books, movies, and accounts that I've been exposed to prior to this work have been from the point of view of the suffering peasant population. The grandeur of the life of the nobility has always served simply as the antagonist in the plot of oppression, and the evil to be overcome by those who are brave enough to seek justice. But Marie-Antoinette picks you up from the empty kitchens of French cottages and the muddy, bloody streets, and drops you into the palace that has housed a whole other world of misfortune and mistreatment. Laura Mason describes the novel feeling that Marie-Antoinette draws from its audience very well in her essay, We're Just Little People, Louis, calling the movie a weepy celebration of a kind-hearted but misunderstood queen. The movie is in black and white, the acting is of a dated and overly theatrical style, and every climactic scene, from the moments of passion and love to the battle and gore, is much less graphic than modern film. But the lavish costume drama is still an entrancing plot, as Hollywood worked the same magic back in 1938 that it does today, turning a biography into a larger-than-life story. Mason notes that the protagonist's efforts to acquire even grander significance in historical films, for they do not simply drive the story forward, they become the principal cause of historic events. All of a sudden, we see a very real and historic collapse of a monarchy and the start of a revolution become set in motion by our own protagonist's private search for love and guidance. This bending of every scene in Marie-Antoinette toward the character of the queen herself does not take away from the historical perspective to be gleaned from the film. While Hollywood may have stitched pieces of the story perfectly together to make a clear patchwork of how Marie was swept up in the unfortunate momentum of civil unrest and molded into the object to which people could personify as the enemy of their happiness, these pieces are still accurate causes of the ultimate effect, her execution. I found myself making notes about details throughout the film at every twist and turn in the plot that perpetuated dramatic feelings of empathy toward the queen. And lo and behold, they always checked out to be true. I was shocked to read the historical accuracy of the petty, hostile, and jealous environment of the host of ready-made enemies that were within the chateau. This stripping of fact from fantasy and unveiling the real Marie-Antoinette is a task Elizabeth Caldwell notes in her article, Just Another Citoyenne, Marie-Antoinette on Trial, as being one that even biographers have struggled with. Following Marie-Antoinette's account of the affair of the necklace, I observed the convergence of this hatred for whom Marie has been created to be both within and outside the walls of the palace, symbolized in the Count of Provence. He stands at the balcony, watching the crowd roar for the queen to wear a millstone around her neck in place of the people's money, and smirks as he wipes off his makeup and removes his wig, disguising himself to blend in and join the mob's cause, but inserting his own vendetta in the call for her blood. During one of our few and first introductions to the Council of Men who are calling for liberty, equality, and fraternity, Marie-Antoinette's scriptwriters included a metaphor that demonstrates another symbolic connection between the persecution of the royal family by the aristocrats and the revolutionaries, the demand that the tree of liberty should be watered with the blood of the monarchy. In the midst of the pressing demand for an heir to the throne, it is interesting that the monarchy's family tree is at the center of internal pressure, signifying the stability of the ancient regime, but also the hopes for the new republic. The final scenes of Marie-Antoinette demonstrate perfectly what Nancy Barker writes in her essay, Let Them Eat Cake, the mythical Marie-Antoinette and the French Revolution. That probably no degree of saintliness on the part of Marie-Antoinette could have successfully rebutted the rebels. The conclusion of the film is ushered in with the clear, irreparable harm to the monarchy caused by vicious gossip. As a historical film, Marie-Antoinette must conclude just as any other account of the storming of the Bastille and the royals' part in the French Revolution must. Louis is sent to the guillotine, Marie is sent to the guillotine, and the people cheer for the fall of the monarchy. However, as the royals await their impending doom, the writers and the director of Marie-Antoinette insert a series of symbolic scenes that allow us to find closure with the people we have come to know in the film. The scene I'd like to show you guys is one of the final scenes. In it, allowed to join his family for one last meal, Louis prays over dinner and Marie joins him in being strong for the children as they joyfully beg for their father to play with them tomorrow and to help mend their toys. From this moment on, we watch Marie have everything close to her be ripped from her hands, including her children. Marie-Antoinette places its protagonist in a pure light as a woman in despair, not for having lost her crown and jewels, but for mourning her separation from her husband and her children, and allows its audience in conclusion to express our empathy and heartbreak for Marie through Count Fersen's willingness to sacrifice himself for the chance to be the only force in all of France to show the Queen sympathy, empathy, and comfort. So here is a scene that I think really demonstrates this movie's mission.
Look, my father has come to have supper with us. A chair for my father.
That's all right, son.
Onion soup. Oh, I like that.
Oh!
Oh, Papa, wait till I show you. Look, the general's lost his arm.
Poor old General Pulverschmecken.
What? What did you call him?
General Pulverschmecken.
Pulverschmecken? Mama, did you hear that? This is General Pulverschmecken. Sister, that's General Pulverschmecken. Can you mend him?
Yes, I think so, son. I shall need a bit of wire. Let me take the old general away with me, and I'll send him back to you in the morning.
Can't you bring him back yourself?
Maybe, son. Who knows? Now, I'll put the old general in my pocket. There. You see? He's as snug as you please. Come along, we're letting the soup get cold. O Lord, our heavenly Father, we thank thee for the blessings that thou in thy infinite goodness and mercy hast seen fit to bestow upon us, thy humble servants. We ask thee to guard and keep us steadfast in the ways of righteousness until the end of our days, and then to receive us into the eternal glory of thy grace. Amen.
Thanks, guys. I hope you have a great Friday. See y'all later.